YouTube? It's your boy JB, and I'm here today with the review for Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 4, Episode 13, and it's titled Opening Old Wounds. So you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump right into the video. Alright, so I'm going to start the episode with Giselle. So we see Giselle. Giselle is in her car, and Giselle gives Ashley a call, and she's telling Ashley how, Robin is getting ready to come over to her new house that she got from when she got, the one that she's doing the fix her up on. So, Ashley just talking about, Giselle still feels a type of way about what happened at the party last week when, Ashley was talking about how the only person that's been on her side is Monique. So, Giselle, like I said, she's really thought about this. And she's asking Ashley to come over to the crib so that, she can show her and Robin around. So then we see Robin, Ashley, and Giselle. They are at her place. She's taking them around. She's showing them, what's going to be what. She's talking about how she's always wanted a house for she and her girls. But, she was a little bit afraid of it, which I definitely get that. Like, because I'm at this point now, I just re-signed my lease at my apartment for another year. And I know next year that I want to have a house. I don't know if I want to rent a house, if I want to just go ahead and just buy one. And I'm really nervous about if I do decide to go the route of, getting my own home. I'm nervous because you have to put so much into it. Like, you have to pay your property taxes. You got to pay the, like if there are school zones in the area, you got to pay all that stuff. And then if, like if the AC go out in the summer, you're responsible for that. Plumbing messes up, you're responsible for that. But I guess I can deal with that a little bit more than apartments, because certain apartments just don't really give a shit. They just want your money and that's about it. So I definitely get where she's coming from. So then, they talk about the whole situation that happened before at the party that Robin had, the girls' night out, when, Katie was telling them about, what Jacob said about Michael calling him on his private line, and also the fact that she called Ashley stupid. And Ashley, she called me stupid. They were like, yeah. And, she was just talking about how, she also met up with Monique, and how Monique was saying that, she felt like the other ladies were, laughing and enjoying what she was going through. And they were like, it's not really that we're enjoying what you're going through, it's that we're concerned. I'm like, okay, if you guys say so. And then, they before that, they also told her that they were going to a gala that Ball and Gala girl was having, which that is Katie's tagline from season 1. And Ashley's like, well, have fun. And I'm like, wait a minute, did we miss something in between this? Like, because it felt like there's a little bit of animosity there. Like, did we miss something? Man, speaking of Katie, let me get off on this little bit of a tangent. I'm kind of bummed, but I'm not bummed at the same time. But it came out last week that Katie is not going to the Potomac reunion, which I'm not surprised. I mean, she didn't have much to do with the storylines this season, but she was there. And if they could have if they could bring Charisse to the reunion last year, they know that they could bring Katie to the reunion. Like, I think that's kind of fucked up. But I think I've also heard that Ashley said that if Katie's at the reunion, she won't be there. Damn, I would say I'd be fine with that, but nope. I want to see her raked over the coals. So I guess we got to say, deuces to Katie for the reunion. But bravo, season 5. Y'all need to offer Katie her flute back for real, because Katie has brought it this season. But then, Ashley tells Giselle and Robin, and I don't know why she felt the need to tell them this, but she was telling them that when she met up with Monique, that Monique showed her the text messages between she and Candice. And again, I'm like, why did you have to feel the need to bring this up to the two messy people, to the messiest people on this cast? Like, really? You can tell it to anybody else, but I guess who else would really film with her? Candice won't film with her, and Karen won't film. I mean, Karen might film with her, but, to bring up this dirt, I guess you would have to tell it to those two. Don't know why. Alright, so next we're going to talk about Karen. Karen actually has no storyline. I mean, I said it last week, but it's becoming evidently clear. Like, Karen has nothing. Because, we see her daughter Raven, and we see her, Uncle Jessup, as Roxanne calls him. Shout out to Rox for that one. And they are doing a crab boil. And, she's talking about how he burns food. And it just really wasn't nothing. Her son Brandon came over. Brandon looks just like Karen. Um, yeah, it just wasn't a whole lot to this. They were talking about, she had a swear jar, but she would take out of the swear jar if she needed money for gas. She's talking about La Dame fragrance, how, it's unisex, but, Ray asked her would she change the name of it to, La Home for men, but she says no, La Dame is the name. I think she could, come up with a different name. If it's a men's fragrance, there could be a different name, Karen. Like, you really could do that. But, that's pretty much it for Karen. Again, she had nothing this week. She hadn't had nothing all, again, she's really hasn't had anything all season long. But I'm glad that they have Karen around. But again, she just has no storyline whatsoever. Next up on the list is Candice. So we see Candace and we see Chris. They go to look at this house, beautiful looking house. And when I looked at the house immediately, I said that house like it might be completely out of Chris and Candace's price range. And I'm not trying to count their coins or no shit like that. But just looking at them, like if you are, and the reason why I say it's out of their price range is because if you are living in a house that your mom pays half of the mortgage on, then your budget, I'm not saying you got a low budget, but it's not as high as I would expect that house to be. I would expect that house to be over $1 million or more. And lo and behold, the asking price is $2.5 million. It's actually come down. And I'm like, ta-da. That house is like outside y'all's range. And then, Candace is like, well, we could work extra jobs. What? Why would you? And I don't understand people who do. I really don't understand people who live above their means. Like, I just don't get that. That's kind of stupid to me. So you live above your means, but that means you have to work harder, and then you're gonna be in debt. You're gonna be probably behind on bills. Like, I just don't get people who live above their means. I try not to live above. I try to live with what I can afford. If I can't afford it, don't need it. And I think Chris was trying to get her to understand that as well. Like, this is out of our price range. Like, maybe we need to keep looking and see what we can find. And like I said, it was a nice enough house. There were no neighbors. And she's like, oh, we could be outside naked if we want to. You could, but nobody wants to know that. But at the end of it, Chris does tell her, slow down. We continue living where we live at now, and we can, save up, build up, and then look. Like, there's no big rush to move. I get what Candice is trying to do. She wants to break free of her mother. And then she also said that if she needed the money, she has a trust. And they tried to ask her how much was the trust, how much is in the trust. She says she doesn't know. But if it's a trust that your mom built for you, you're still asking your mama for help. So it's easier. Like, why don't you just get a condo or something, like a condo, a small apartment, like, or do like Tinsley. I know that on the Real Housewives of New York City, Tinsley. She lives in one of those hotel, penthouse suites. Do that. It might be, I don't know if it's gonna be as much as your mortgage, but do something that's within your means. Like, save up money and then go get what you want to get. So I think Chris at the end of it made her realize that. I hope he did, because she was not practical at all. Nothing she said made the least, not least, nothing she said made any bit of sense to me. Put it that way. I just want to understand what Candice was talking about, because she just did not make any sense. All right, you guys. Next up is Monique. First, before I even get into Monique's story of this week, that second interview look that she had, did not like it. And what I didn't like about it was the hair. It looked like, waterfalls. Didn't really like that at all. But Monique, she's 34 weeks pregnant. And, she's trying to get up the stairs so she can help the kids get ready for bed. This week, Monique didn't have a big story either. She's just talking about how she's, you can clearly tell she's uncomfortable, because look at that. I mean, that belly was big. Oh, shit. Excuse me, y'all. So, they're trying to get the kids ready to brush their teeth, get ready for bed. And then, Monique goes to get her birthing ball, and she sits on it, and then she screams out for Chris. She's like, Chris, come here. She's like, I think my water broke. And he's like, what? Your water broke? And then she's calling her OBGYN on the phone. And then Chris calls 911. And when he calls 911, she says, hang the phone up, Chris. It ain't that. It's not real. He was like, what? She said, yeah. And then we see her, she went and poured water on her legs to make it look like her water had broke. And she said, I did that just to show that we're not prepared. Like, what if this baby comes late at night? We have no game plan going for it. So she says, you know what? With the next week, I'm gonna pack my bag so that way we're ready for it. Which I thought that was, it does go to show you can never, well, you're never prepared for the arrival of a kid, but you can take steps to prepare yourself for the arrival of a baby. I think the only way you can be prepared for a baby is like if you have a C-section that's scheduled. That's like the only way you can be prepared. But even then, you cannot be prepared for what you're gonna go through when you have your baby. So that's it for Monique this week. All right, you guys. Next, we're gonna talk about this gala that nobody knew what it was about. So we see Candice and we see Evil D there, and then Giselle shows up and she asking them like, "Yo, is Dr. Ken helping y'all?" And she said, Evil D says he helping Candice. No. She said, but then she says yes, but she says Candice is a brat, and Giselle says, "Well, she's a brat that you created." She's like, and touche, and and I'm like, Candice, you told your mama to stop throwing shots at you, right? Well, she just threw a whole dagger at you, but I guess you didn't catch it. Whatever. So then we see Robin. She shows up. And like I said before, nobody knows what this gala is about. Katie comes up. I don't know what's up with Katie's wig game. Not the best. And then we meet Katie's mom. And I wasn't expecting for Katie's mom to be black. I was thinking maybe Katie's mom was white and her dad was black. Completely opposite of what I expected. Pleasantly surprised. And she basically, I think Candice and her mom, Candice's mom and Katie's mom, I think they might have some similarities in common with each other. So then we talked to Jacob about what Katie said that he said about Michael, about him answering if he called his business line that, he should answer his personal line or some shit like that. But then when not when Michael, but when Jacob started to explain it, I'm like, well, it doesn't really sound like it was anything sexual or him flirting with him, because he asked him why did he have multiple phones. He said one of them is his business phone, and he said, well, which one does he answer? Which one is the first one he answers? And he said his business line. And he says, okay, so if I call you on your personal phone, if a call comes into your business line, you answer my call. And I'm like, okay, nothing. It wasn't really anything like to get alarmed about, but I guess because it's Michael that we're talking about, I guess you could get kind of alarmed. But again, I was like, that's not something that I would be, like kind of my draws would be in a bunch about that, but whatever. So then Candice, she has a gift in her hand, and she says it's for Monique because she was expecting Monique to be there, but she's not there. And actually, let's back up just a little bit. So they were asking, they asked Katie, did she invite Ashley? She said no. She says Ashley has a lot going on, so I figured she just wouldn't want to come. Yeah, Ashley got a lot of shit going on, but when doesn't Ashley have shit going on? But back to Candice. She said she had the gift from Monique. Well, why did Messi decide to take it upon themselves to tell her, oh, so Ashley told us that when she met up with Monique showed her all the texts that you guys had exchanged with one another. And I'm like, oh, wow, monkey see, monkey do, huh? Like, just Robin could have kept her fucking mouth closed, to be quite honest with you. Robin should have shut up. Giselle will take any opportunity to make Monique look bad. Was Monique wrong for showing Ashley those text messages? Absolutely. But for those two to go, for Pinky and the Brain to go back and tell Candice what happened was not their place. But, to get the shit started, they had to do it. I know they did, but what? Like, y'all couldn't keep your mouth closed for like 5 seconds and not even mention this? But, again, it is Giselle and it's Robin. Pinky the Brain. Follow the leader. Or monkey see, monkey do. They really get on my nerves at times. All right, you guys. So now we're going to end it with Ashley. So Ashley, we see her and Michael. They're happy. They're moving forward now that the case has been dismissed. And, it's clear skies. They're talking about fertility. I'm like, okay. They did show a picture last week of baby. I think his name is Dean, something like that. He looks exactly like Michael. You know, my mama and my grandma told me if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. But I had one thing nice to say. He looks like Michael. So, you know, then Michael talking about we realize, well, we don't realize, Michael says it. He's basically in his feelings because he feels like nobody is supporting he or Ashley. And I'm like, wow, this is the pot calling the kettle black, isn't it? Because were you and Ashley supportive of Karen and Ray when they were going through their tax issues last season? I think not. You guys were trying to, egg everything on. Were you there for Robin and Juan with their issues? No. How about Monique? No. You guys weren't there for anybody, so don't it's karma comes around. Karma is a bitch. Turnabout is fair play. What goes around comes around. All kind of stuff like that. If y'all didn't do it for somebody else, why do y'all expect for somebody to do it for you? So then Ashley is telling Michael how, she and her mom are going to go to Georgia so she can, try to, see and talk to her dad. And Michael is telling her that he doesn't think it's a good idea. And I actually agree with Michael, surprisingly. So then we see Ashley. She's at her house. She's doing her yoga. And she calls her Aunt Sheila, who is her dad's sister. And I guess that her Aunt Sheila hasn't talked to her dad in a few years. I'm like, wow, it must be something really wrong with that daddy. But Ashley is hoping that her Aunt Sheila can kind of, be the one that bridges she and her dad back to, to some kind of a relationship. And I just don't see it. I really don't. If the man blocked you on Facebook because of a message you sent him, there's something wrong with that man. I'm gonna go ahead and say what I think what it is, because Georgia, he's in the deep South. Well, he's in the South, and I doubt he's in Atlanta. He is probably in where could he? I'm trying to think of one of those cities where it's predominantly white. I can't think right now, but he's probably in one of those backwater cities where they are still racist. And I said it, her dad might be racist. He slept with her mama, but I'm pretty positive. And he, Ashley said that he divorced her. It's a lot more that we don't have the backstory to. But I don't think that dad is happy to have a black daughter. I have to say that. I don't think he is. So then, she tells her that she and her mom are coming down there to Atlanta, to Georgia. So then we see Ash and her mom as they're getting ready to head to Georgia. And then once they get there, they meet with Aunt Sheila and her Uncle Jim. So her Uncle Jim says Uncle Jim feels the same way as Michael does. Uncle Jim has some mixed feelings about Ashley meeting up with her dad because he said her dad has some demons that he had 20 years ago, and he does not know if he's battled those demons. And I think that demon is that the motherfucker might be a little bit racist. Just saying. They're not saying it, but it's kind of implied. Because what other demons could the man have? And he said, he think her mom did the right thing by keeping her away from him. Like I said, it could be other demons. He could be a drug addict. He could be an alcoholic. There are a lot of things he could be. It could be drugs, alcohol, or, like I said, motherfucker could be a racist. I don't know. I'm just assuming. I'm guessing. So then we see them, but her uncle says, whatever you want, Ashley, I'm gonna support you with whatever you want to do. So she says, okay, cool. So they get ready to go to her dad's house, and she's nervous as they get ready to pull up to the house. And she's telling her mom, she's like, I think maybe Aunt Sheila should go to the door first, so that way if he sees her, he won't just automatically just slam the door in her face. Excuse me, y'all. This scene actually reminds me of Real Housewives of Atlanta when Kenya went to visit her mom and her mama didn't want to see her. This really reminds me of that scene. But you guys, that is basically the episode. Be sure to like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys later. So I am going to do Claws. It might come tomorrow. And I'm thinking about doing that HBO show, a black lady comedy. A black lady sketch comedy. I can't think of the name of it. I did record it, so I'm going to watch it. But what I'm about to do is I'm about to edit this, upload this, watch Claws, and then I'm probably going to wake up early in the morning before I go to work and record Claws. So I will see you guys later.